wider security implications of Shekau's death for Nigeria's war on terrorism. Unsurprisingly, the news of the purported death of very head of dreaded Islamic insurgent group Boko Haram Abubakar Shekau exploded on the internet and traditional information channels a few days ago with a reverberating crescendo, eliciting mixed reactions from the civil populace and military establishments. Most accounts of Shekau's demise concur with the notion that he died from serious injuries sustained from a sneak attack on his camp by elements linked to the rival Islamic State of West African province ISWAP, a breakaway faction of Boko Haram. In reaction to the trending news, the Nigerian military announced that it had commenced preliminary investigations to validate its authenticity before making any categorical pronouncement on the new development. From a strategic standpoint, however, the question that should be agitating the minds of concerned Nigerians in the face of the uncertainty surrounding Shekau's purported demise is what happens next in the event of the confirmation that he is truly dead. Would his death pointed the end of the bloodletting in the country's northeast or the onset of a more bloody spectrum of violence? Simply put, what would be the wider security implication for Nigeria's ongoing war on terrorism in the event of the demise of its chief protagonist? Shekau's death is yet to be officially confirmed by Nigeria's military authorities and government. Neither has ISWAP, the group said to have orchestrated the attack on his camp, made any formal statement on the matter by way of validating the claim on the matter attributed to it. All the available information on Shekau's demise are largely sketchy, suggestive and therefore unreliable, so it is advised that the story should not be swallowed hook, line and sinker. It's certainly too early to celebrate. It is noteworthy that this is not the first time news of Shekau's death has filtered out of Sambisa forest. On several occasions in the past, the world had been led to believe that Shekau had been killed only for him to surface again. There is a possibility that a similar scenario is being recreated again. Strategically speaking, it can't be ruled out that this is another gambit by Boko Haram to misdirect the public and military authorities, with a view to regrouping and reinventing itself by diverting attention from Shekau. Boko Haram could actually be suffering from battle fatigue and is trying to buy time consequent to loses it has suffered lately from the relentless onslaught by the Nigerian military forces on several of its positions in Sambisa forest and other toughs it controls. But what if Shekau is truly dead? Well, however, if Shekau's death is finally validated, then all lions must be firmly guarded for a completely new dimension to the intense war of attrition in the country's northeast, a worst-case scenario that could see the introduction of more deadly elements that have not yet been tried in the ongoing zero-sum game between insurgents and Nigerian security forces. Nobody should be deceived that killing Shekau will bring an abrupt end to the bloody carnage in the northeast, a hydra-headed monster that transcends just one individual. It is a war driven by an extremist ideology. I struggle that has very deep roots that just can't be casually uprooted. The death of Shekau would likely result in ISWAP transforming into the new Medusa in the northeast as it would move to assimilate existing Boko Haram structures and thugs under its control. After successively fending off the resistance of elements still loyal to their master, the recent report that Boko Haram commanders are being rounded up by ISWAP elements if true, could be a move in that direction. Next, ISWAP will move to prove itself by establishing a new regime of terror in the northeast. Nigeria might be facing a whole new form of threat from ISWAP when it ultimately gets down to business. More deadly attacks should be expected from a more tactical terrorist force with foreign affiliations. Well, window of opportunity for the military, is that what it is? However, Shekau's death could actually be a blessing in disguise if confirmed, as the Nigerian military could immediately exploit the ensuing rivalry between Boko Haram and ISWAP by boosting its offensive against the insurgents. Before the dust settles, the regional security collaboration with Chad, Niger, Cameroon, and Nigeria could be immediately reactivated or strengthened and leveraged upon to gain more ground before the insurgents find their bearing. Whatever happens, all hands must be on deck to contain whatever is coming next. Ongoing efforts on the military, administrative, and diplomatic fronts should continue with a view to finding a viable solution to the bloodletting in the northeast, which has been on since 2009 rather, and has resulted into the death of thousands, injuries to thousands more, and displacement of millions from their homes. Well, the assertion is Shekau truly dead? Okay, if his death is being confirmed, how sure are we that the Islamic State of West African province will not erupt as the second version of Boko Haram and come up with their attacks again? Because what really led to Shekau's death is the battle of supremacy between Boko Haram and ISWAP. And meanwhile, ISWAP was being said that it's a faction of Boko Haram who went off Boko Haram to create ISWAP. Just because Shekau was not you know contented or comfortable with that, that is why he does not want to hand over supremacy, because the ISWAP are just still automatically or indirect member of Boko Haram. Now they are looking for supremacy. They just want to collect the power from Shekau. They want Shekau to drop the leadership to the ISWAP, and Shekau never wanted that, just because he feels superior than the ISWAP. That is why the report says he killed himself through a bomb, or because of the attack. Now, just because he never wanted to drop the power, he killed himself. But what we are confirming now is that, is Shekau truly dead? If he's dead, where is the confirmation? Well, maybe you have the confirmation, or you have the authenticity of his death. Kindly hit the comment section and let's hear your views, or you hear your view or your opinion and your thoughts. Thanks for listening, and God bless you.